Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be throwing out some old content. I was thinking about doing a top 10 Mama Baird's best videos. I am currently in the middle of a move, so I'm kind of slow on the content, and I was like, how can I get more videos out for you guys, but still without having to refilm all new content because I'm just so busy right now. So I decided to look through all my videos. We're going to go through the top 10 and watch my most popular videos for the past 2.5 years that I've been on YouTube. So today we are going to start with number 10, and this is a food bank haul where I do some prepping, I do some bulk cooking, and I make some delicious broccoli cheese soup. So let's get into it and let's see what I was up to 2 years ago, cooking up some food I got from the food bank. Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, we do a lot of food bank hauls, home cooking, and homesteading on this channel. If that's the kind of content you like, I hope you would consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. We would be so happy to have you here. So this is a little bit of a different food bank haul that I have for you. I usually go to the one where you can go shopping and you shop your limits and you can pick and choose what you'd like. I did get a lot of feedback from you guys from my last food bank haul, and a lot of you mentioned that you don't get that option. You just go to a mobile one or to what they have and you get what you get. We do have that's offered more in the rural parts here, and there is one that is close to me that was offering it this week. So I decided to go ahead and go to that one this week instead of going to the one where I can shop. So this is one where I just got what I got. I had no idea. I just pulled up, told them my family of 6 with 3 kids, and this is what they gave me. So let's check it out and see what I got. All right, to start off, we got a thing of apple juice and 2 half gallons of 1%. Then we got 2 bags that had essentials in it. So we got 2 things of cereal, 2 things of mini marshmallows, ended up with 3 different types of Jell-O. For the produce, we just got 1 big bag of broccoli. This is 48 ounces of broccoli. And then 1 of these kind of like Velveeta blocks of cheese. Hey, can you turn that down? It came with a big bag of pinto beans, 1.5 pounds. 1 of these were in each bag, a Caesar dressing, a smoky maple barbecue sauce. That sounds pretty good. I know this is a pretty good brand too. Well, this one usually has pretty good ingredients in it. So that's nice. Then Caesar, and this actually has a bottle that you can reseal, so if you ever make your own ketchup or barbecue sauce, you can reuse this jar. So each bag had a thing of peanut butter, so I got 2 peanut butter. Each had a jelly. I could reuse that jar, so I love getting those jars. Each bag had a thing of tuna. Each had 1 thing of cream of mushroom, 1 thing of vegetable soup. 1 had a corn and a green bean. Each had a vegetarian bean. And then 1 had 2 green beans, and then each had a fruit cocktail. And then 1 of them had this hazelnut coffee creamer in it. And then 1 had a bag of brown rice. And then for the meat, now this looks like a 3-pound log of ground beef. And then some chicken jumbo franks, so chicken hot dogs. Looks pretty good. And that's this haul. Also, I got 2 mangoes. I forgot them out in the car. They're definitely a little soft and ready to be used. We got those as well. Now that you saw all the goodies that I got from the food bank this week, I'm going to do a bit extra than just dinner tonight. I'm still going to be cooking dinner, you know I am. But I'm going to be doing a little more than that as well. I'm going to go and show you a little step further of more than just 1 meal of what I do with the food from the food bank. I got my apron on and I'm ready to cook. So let's get to cooking. All right, so what I got going on here is a couple of different items I'm going to prep right now for my week. I have a big onion that I'm going to chop up and some peppers. You can see some of them are have some black spots, so they need to get used up. So we're gonna chop these up, and then I'm going to be cooking up that hamburger that I just received. So for the onions, I like to cut the top off and then cut it in half. I have a bag here with all my veggie scraps that I use to make my own stock. So here's a bunch of carrot peels. I got some garlic peels in here. That onion top that I just cut off is going in there. I got some lemons and limes in here. So that's just stuff that I use that I refurbish into my stock so it doesn't go to waste. Now some of this stuff, like this moldy bit here, I'm just gonna throw that away. That's not worth saving for my stock if there's a chance that I might get mold in it. So don't feel bad if you have to throw away some stuff, but utilize what you can. So this side is fine, all this is fine, so this is going in my stock bag. That's perfectly good onion. That has tons of flavor in there. All right, get out of here, skin. Okay, clean your board off roughly. Go this way. All right, so I'm gonna start with this one. I always like to cut my onion across first. And by not cutting off that root, you're keeping it together. You just gotta make sure you don't slice all the way through. And then you can just kind of follow the lines that are on the onion. Make sure you're not cutting all the way through. Okay, there. And then make sure you got the claw. That's what I wasn't doing when I cut my thumb. I was just doing this and got my thumb. So do the claw. Make sure you're lined up where you want to be. Okay. Well, I got the smallest cutting board I could get apparently. All my other ones are dirty though. Alright, so that's already a lot of onion. That was a big onion. So when you hear recipes calling for like 1 onion and stuff, you know, use your judgment. That's why I like having it pre-cut, so that way I can just use what I want. Okay, so we were cutting it this way, right? And then that's kind of wobbly, it's hard to cut, it's loose. So just flip it over. I like to make sure I'll go back and go a little deeper with the lines this time, since it's not as much of an onion and that. And there we go, and that's all we got left that we're gonna throw in our stock bag. One done. Now since this one has the brown right here, I'm probably gonna take off yet another layer. And I'm gonna cut it diagonal to cut that off. Just to get this surface level off. See, underneath is perfectly good onion. So that's what we're gonna cut the same way. Go slow, take your time, guys. It's not worth getting cut. All right, so onions chopped, ready to go. That 1 onion pretty much filled up my whole container. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get my heat on. If you notice, my board's kind of sliding a little bit, so I'm just gonna get a wet paper towel. It keeps it from moving so much on you. So at this point, I got this cut. I'm going to take the top off and put that in my bag. And then just trim any of this bad part, but even then that doesn't look too bad. But I got some chickens and some goats who would like it. All right, now peppers, they're kind of wobbly on you, you know, just some people will cut off the ends and have a straight pepper. Some people cut off the ends and have a straight pepper. I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's just rough chopping. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing to us. Now I'm gonna be adding these veggies to my hamburger to kind of stretch it out and add a bunch of flavor. So in here I have some garlic infused oil that I made. So I'm just gonna put that down as our garlic flavor. All right, so we have our oil in there. I'm gonna get pepper in there and some of these onions. Alright, so I'm just going to do that. 2 peppers And then that onion, I'm gonna cut up a couple of extra peppers and add them to my onion base here. So I'll have some just cooked, ready, or I'll have some prepped and ready to go. All right, so I got my onions and peppers cut. Got a good size here. It'll probably get me good for a couple of meals, prepped in the fridge. And then I also have these onions I forgot I wanted to use up. These are the ones I prepped last time. So I'm just gonna throw those in there. Now we're just cooking these till they're a little till they're sweating a little bit, so the onions will get a little clear. I mean, we're not cooking them until they're soft or anything, because we're gonna add the ground beef to them. So put those in there. And then I do have a lot of zucchini right now. So one thing I'm gonna do to utilize it is to put it in my meat. I'm gonna cut this a little smaller so it's a little harder to detect. The kids can totally tell big pieces of zucchini. And by kids, I mean husband. So I'm just gonna rough chop these a little more. I had them already cut up. But like I said, I'm just gonna do it a little smaller to blend them in with the meat better. Alright, those are all the veggies I'm going to add. I got most of that zucchini in here. And we got those peppers and onions. And now we're going to add that log of ground beef. I love this skillet. I inherited this skillet from my mom when she quit cooking. It is amazing. Alright, so I'm just going to be mixing in all the veggies into the meats. And then just going to be letting this cook. I'm not going to add any seasoning at this point. I'm going to wait till it's cooked some. And meat's starting to brown some, so we'll give it a turn. We're just going to cook this till it's fully brown. Alright, I got my area all cleaned up, got a new glove on, and now I'm going to be cutting these mangoes and kind of just show you what I do to preserve fruit like this when it's super ripe and needs to get used up. So when you're cutting a mango, there's a big old pit in the center, so you really can only get the sides, or they call them the cheeks. I don't think I'm going to peel it actually. So you're just going to go down along the side, and if you feel your knife, like right there, the knife hit something hard, that's the pit you're getting. So scoot over a little bit, try again. This is very ripe. My knife can't even cut through it. There we go. So you can see I got part of the pit on that one. That was a tough one. So it's a little easier when you do the first cut. Then you can kind of rotate it and then see where you can cut again. There we go. So right up hit there. And then I'm gonna get this in too. Just try and get as much mango meat as I can. The peel, this is so ripe, the peel really just comes right off. Alright, so that's about all we can get off of it. Then at this point, I'm just going to kind of scoop out that little pit area. And then just slice down, not all the way through the skin, just slice just to the skin. And then same thing, you're not going to go all the way through, you're going to stop as soon as you hit that skin. And then you can pretty much, but at this point you can just pop them off with your hand. You just run your hand through there and get them off. Or you can get a spoon and scrape it off like you would an avocado. Oh yeah, deskinned mango. Now you can also peel it like you can see I was going to do. That would work better with a firmer mango than a super ripe one. Same thing. Guys, I just cut open this other mango and it is a lot more ripe than the first one. So I just took off a bit and tried it and it tasted fine. So I don't know if I'm even going to cut it. I'm just going to slide it with my hand to get it off. So I'm just going to use my thumb to get in here. Like I'm just going to be freezing these for smoothies. That's why I have them on a plate, because I'm going to freeze them in separate chunks here. It's not frozen into one giant clump. It'll freeze into little bits. Okay. Alright, so this is just going to go in the freezer flat like this, and then once it's frozen, we'll transport it into a bag. Alright, now that we're done with the mango, this is what our meat mixture is looking like. And I would say that's done, guys. Mostly all the pink is out, so I'm going to turn this off. Remember, you're probably going to cook this some more whenever you're actually making your meals out of it. So what we're going to do next is get all this grease strained off. I just realized that I totally forgot to season this. All I'm gonna do is just add salt and pepper. And then I can always season more when I use this for whatever I'm gonna use it for. Right now, I'm just gonna put this back in the pan and let it cool down in there. Got it cooked, stirred, ready to go. Now let me show you what I'm gonna do with this beef grease. Alright, so I got some dog food here for my dog, and I'm just gonna pour this grease right on top, and he's gonna have a tasty breakfast. Alright guys, now that the meat has cooled down, we're gonna get this in some containers. Some of this I'm gonna put in the freezer, so I'm just gonna write hamburger, and then the month and year on there. You can totally put cooked hamburger in the freezer. The reason you want this to cool down is all for like time and temperature abuse, like bacteria growing. It goes through a certain temperature. It's from 41 to 140 degrees is the biggest temperature that bacteria will grow. So you don't want food to be super hot when you put this in here, or else that temperature won't drop fast enough and it can get bacteria. So you just want it to be cooled down, and then by the time we throw this in the freezer, it'll cool it down the rest of the way. So I just kind of push down, get all that air out of it, and then we're gonna freeze it flat. So there's one package done, and then I'm gonna fill up my container here that I'm gonna cook with throughout the week, and then we'll see if we have another one for the freezer. Alright, looks pretty good. I'm going to fill up one more bag, and then whatever's left over I'll top off that container with. We got another bag full. Get all that air out. So 2 bags for the freezer. And then enough hamburger for probably 2 full dinners. So out of that one hamburger, we were able to extend it to get about 4 meals worth of meat. Score. If you haven't guessed it, I'm gonna be utilizing this huge bag of broccoli. So what I'm gonna be making, it's cold, it's rainy, it's dreary today. We're gonna make some broccoli cheddar soup. Simple as that, and we're gonna make a lot so we can store some in our freezer for later. All right, so let's get you in close so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I got my big stock pot here. I got a little burnt part down there. I tried cleaning it, it wouldn't come up, I gave up. So hopefully it won't affect the cooking. All right, so I'm just gonna have this on like a 7. I'm gonna add, I'm not even gonna measure stuff, guys, because I just gonna wing it. Put a good chunk of butter in. Gonna get it melting. And then I have some peppers and onions here that I have prepped. So I'm just going to add all those in there instead of chopping up a fresh onion. Usually bell pepper's not in broccoli cheddar soup, but I'm adding it anyway because I already have it prepped and I love the flavor of bell peppers. So we're gonna let that cook up. And while that's cooking, we're gonna tackle this bag of broccoli. These are like the commercial ones you would get in a kitchen. I know I did my time at Applebee's. Now this has a little bit of black down there, but honestly, I'm not worried about it. So I'm just going to rough chop this. Now you can use frozen broccoli if you have that you need to use up. I guess that's the only type of broccoli is fresh or frozen. Alright, and the good thing about this cutting board is that it bends and you can put it straight into a container. Alright, so I'm just going to be here cutting while I'm stirring my onions. Okay guys, that's been cooking for a little bit, probably a couple minutes. You can see they're starting to sweat. I got a whole container full of broccoli. Now if you ask, I got these containers at Costco. It came in like a 4-pack and it was like 10 bucks. It was a steal. For the carrots, no, this is only my 2nd year canning. I taught myself 2 years ago, just kind of throwing myself in there with it, and I did a lot of experimenting, which is, you know, what it's all about. So this was one of my experiments. I did shredded carrots to can. And if I make carrot cake, then these are already shredded and it's ready to go. Well, they kind of mushy. I guess there's a reason you don't shred carrots before you can them. So I'm going to add these to this soup. I don't really care that they're mushy for this. It'll add another flavor element to it, and soups are soft anyway. So it's a good way to use this up, get it out of my pantry, and now I know better. So let's get this added. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and strain these. So here's what they look like. I mean, they're not bad. They're just, there's no crisp to them at all. You know, it's just like canned carrots, really. Which I don't know what I was expecting. I did these back in December, so it feels good to get those out of my pantry. Turn up the heat a little bit. Right now that I added those carrots, I don't make a mess. Now, I'm going to use this cheese for my cheese base. I also have these little cubes of Velveeta that I'm going to throw in here as well. I have 2 of them, so I'm just going to use these up to get them out of my fridge. I'm telling you, it feels good to use stuff up. You have stuff in there and it stares at you for a while and you're just like, what am I going to do with you? And then next thing you know, you hang on to it and then you come across a recipe that it's perfect for. So this has got a little bit of a dried spot. That's okay, I can just take that out. No big deal. All right. Any of you guys get this at in your food banks? It seems like the, what's that show, Lost, where everything's generic? Yeah, that's a good show. I can't remember what's the company called in Lost, guys? That everything's the same generic color and flavor and stuff. I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched Lost. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this up in chunks. This is all going to melt down. Cutting it in chunks just kind of helps that process of melting it down. You can really use any type of cheese, guys. You don't have to use Velveeta. You can use American. You can use cheddar. You know, pepper jack cheese would be good in here. You know, I like my pepper jack cheese, even though I never have it. It's still my favorite. So it's kind of sticky with your knife, so I kind of just push it. Just make sure you go nice and slow. There's no reason to rush it. You know, you got kids at your feet. Mom, I'm hungry. I just want one snack before dinner. Can I just have one snack? No, you just ate. But I want another snack. No. Darn kids. That's the trick, though, is to starve them before dinner. That's how they eat all their dinner. Now that the cheese is cut, we're back over here to our soup. It is looking good. I'm going to add some flour. This is what's going to help thicken up that soup. Now my flour, I always do half wheat, half unbleached white. So that's what I'm putting in here. You guys just use whatever flour you normally use. You see how it soaked up all that extra liquid? Yeah, so now we're going to let this cook for about a minute just to get that flour taste out. Alright, so that's been cooking for about a minute. Now I'm going to add some stock. I got 2 of my homemade chicken stocks and 2 of my homemade roasted corn cob stock. If you guys haven't heard of corn cob stock, I just made a video of it. I can link it below, where you take roasted corn cobs and, well, you guessed it, make a stock out of it. And it's so good. It adds like a little sweetness, and it's like another flavor element that just helps develop any soup that you put it in. And you just want to keep whisking to get any lumps out as you add your stocks. Whoa, why didn't you tell me? I almost dropped my spoon in there. Look at that color. That's all from the corn. Alright, stock is added. So we're gonna let this boil and kind of thicken up a bit. Alright guys, while that soup is heating up, that stock is, you know we're not done yet. I'm going to make some dessert. So I have about 3 tablespoons worth of butter in here. And you know what, we're making Rice Krispie treats. But you can use any cereal in Rice Krispie treats. You don't just have to use Rice Krispies. So we're gonna make some Cinnamon Toast Crunch Rice Krispie treats. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of those cereals that I never buy because not only is it expensive, it is chock full of sugar. Like, this is 12 grams of sugar, 33 carbs for just 1 cup. So, lots of sugar. So you know what? Let's add more sugar to it. We'll keep these on a day, we'll put these on a day that my mother-in-law is watching the kids, huh? So our butter is melting. Let's go ahead and spray our pan. This is a 9x9. You can also use a 9x13. Okay. We're gonna add your marshmallows. Add a whole bag. Yeah, it's gonna melt a bit. I'm gonna open up my bag of cereal. Whoa, real quick. Just to have that open, ready to go. Sample some. Oh yeah. That's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Oh, this is gonna be good. Alright, you can also do this in the microwave, guys. Just put the butter in the microwave, throw the marshmallows in the bowl, microwave it for 30 seconds, stir it, 30 seconds, stir it, you know. Alright, they're starting to lose their shape, starting to get extra gooey. It's been a long time since I made Rice Krispie treats. I think I made them last year for Christmas. They were one of my Christmas cookie gift boxes items. Some red and green Rice Krispie treats. Alright, it's looking good. This is something you want to keep on stirring. Don't let it sit. It's pure sugar. It'll burn. Alright, we're almost to the point where you can't see any more solid marshmallow. That's what you're going for. Looks pretty good. I'm going to turn off my heat. I'm going to add probably half a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, add your cereal. Kind of got to be quick. Use the one handle I got. No, I didn't try some. Nom 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 nom. Maybe I can convince husband to wash that pot for me, huh? Alright, then we're just gonna smash her down. Well. Spray the back of my spoon here with some Pam. Help a little bit. I got some wax paper here. I'm gonna use it. Yeah, there we go. Just to give it a little smash. Oh, sticking too. They're just so sticky. Oh, looks like I gotta eat that part. What a shame. Woo! That is sweet. Could you imagine doing that with like the Reese's Puff or the Cocoa Puffs? Oh, that'd be so good. All right, let's check our soup, see how she's looking. Alrighty. All right, cooking along. Not really too thick yet, but that's okay. We'll give that flour time to thicken it up. At this point, I am gonna add all my broccoli. Now I'm gonna add that. That was over 4 quarts. Just because, you know, I'm trying to use up all that broccoli. Putting it in that hot broth will get it all nice and cooked up. And we can let that thicken up and cook all at the same time. So I'll bring it back in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, so I totally thought I was recording. I have not. So I let that simmer for about 10 minutes. And then I added 2 cans of evaporated milk. Gotta love teaching the kids how to write, and they gotta help. So they wrote on the can. I like to have my dates on the front of the can so I can always see which one I need to use first. So I added 2 cans of evaporated milk. Now you could add any type of milk that you have on hand. It does not have to be evaporated milk. You could use 1% if you had it. You could use the shelf-stable milk if you get that. You could use powdered milk as well. So I'm just gonna kind of break these up. Add all this cheese in here. Gonna add a little bit at a time. Stir it. Now because this has flour, milk, and cheese in it, any leftover soup cannot be canned up or pressure canned. This is gonna go in the freezer or given to family members. All right, all the cheese is added. We'll get that all melted and then we'll taste it and see what kind of seasoning it needs. We haven't added any seasoning at this point because I like to make sure all the base ingredients are in there, and then I'll give it a taste and see what we need. Definitely taste it's blended. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to it. This is just kosher salt. Get a noon spoon here, try it again. Very good, I'm gonna add a little more salt. Then I also have some onion powder here that I made from leeks I dried in my dehydrator. So I'm gonna add some of that. Stir that up. Now it's good, guys. That's done. Broccoli cheddar soup. Holy moly, guys. What a productive day. We got that ground beef cooked off. I got 2 bags in the freezer, and then I have a container full for the fridge for meals later this week. We got that mango. Oh, that mango. Ta-da! Here's the mango, frozen in clumps to the plate. Just like that. Oh. So I'm just gonna scrape these off. Throw some on the floor. I'm just gonna scrape these off, put them in a bag. Frozen mango for smoothies. We got that ground beef cooked. Did I say that? We got the ground beef cooked. We got broccoli cheddar soup made for dinner. We got cinnamon toast crunch Rice Krispie treats for dessert. Let's cut into these actually. Right here, you just let these cool to room temperature, guys. It's nothing crazy. Oh my goodness. Kids haven't even seen these yet. They don't got to. I'm just kidding. I can't eat the whole thing myself. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you for today. Thank you so much for watching. To all my new subscribers out there, thank you so much. I'm just blown away. I've crossed over the 2,000 subscriber mark. I really appreciate it, guys. Like, I have not been expecting this much support and love for going to the food bank and cooking the food that I get from it. But I'm so glad that this is the kind of content that you guys like, and this is what you need in your life to learn how to do this stuff. It just makes me so happy, and I love that you guys support me. Well, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Beards.
Mama, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Okay, so I have a horse named Rainbow, and I got this from the Florence store. She is a show horse, and it came with a stable. I didn't want to throw it away, so like when it's not time, she can like sleep in it like that. And then that's all I got. I just wanted to show you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Mama Beard, so welcome to my channel.
Well, guys, what do you think of that video from 2 years ago? Do you think my cooking is improved? Is it about the same? What do you think? I'm hoping to go to a food bank that's a little more local in my area now, so it'd be fun to see kind of what they do there, whether it's a shop and pick or whether it's they just grab and go. I don't know. It'll be fun to get in there and see what's offering. Well, thanks for coming along and checking out my top 10 videos. This is number 10. Stay tuned for number 9, and we'll work our way up to number 1. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Beards.